Madam Deputy President, I want to make a more calmer and considered contribution in opposing this motion, but the very fact the opposition is going down this path is as clear an indication as you can possibly get about how fraught an issue housing and planning is for the Liberal Party. Depending on the political circumstance, the opposition has sought shelter behind every single iteration of NIMBYism that you could possibly conceive of. NIMBYs, YIMBYs, ADIMBYs, QUIMBYs, desperately twisting, turning and contorting out of taking a consistent and coherent stand on any transport-oriented housing proposal. In the end, the best strategy the opposition have of resolving their housing conundrum is to say they support new projects in principle but oppose them in practice. It happens every single time, and that's exactly where they're going here, Madam Deputy President. They are desperately going on a fishing expedition to find a reason, as specious as it is, to oppose Woollahra Station and more density in the eastern suburbs. On this side of the chamber, we have no such dilemmas. We recognise Sydney is going through a housing crisis. We know the key to managing Sydney's future growth lies in having the right planning laws in place, making sure there is transport infrastructure and services in place before new housing is built, leveraging our investment in existing infrastructure, and having the courage to actually stand up for the next generation of Sydney-siders who don't want to pack up and go into state because they cannot afford to buy a home in Sydney. But what's more, we've learnt from the planning mistakes of the past. The story of Sydney's notorious ghost station at Woollahra is a telling case study of those mistakes. When the eastern suburbs line was being built in 1970, and I agree with the opposition whip, Woollahra residents fought to make sure their suburbs were bypassed and public transport users were forced to walk to either Edgecliff or Bondi Junction. Since then, the population of Woollahra has declined while the rest of Sydney has boomed, and no one can seriously argue that inner city areas like Woollahra cannot do more to meet Sydney's housing needs, but doing more shouldn't be seen as a burden, as it is in some of these communities and as it is with the opposition. It should be seen as an opportunity. It's an opportunity for renewal. It's an opportunity for a more appropriate residential mix of medium density housing. It's an opportunity to renew areas, to breathe new life in the areas through cafes, bars and restaurants. And it's an opportunity for a sleepy place like Woollahra to come springing back to life, just like other town centres, particularly those in my backyard in Western Sydney.